2023 is widely considered to be one of the worst years of Pokémon GO, especially within the Pokémon GO community. The reason for this is because Niantic made a lot of decisions this year that a lot of players disagreed with. Now, in my own personal YouTube channel, I've been very critical towards Niantic as of late, and it's mainly because of a lot of these decisions. But I do get the occasional comments stating that if I hate the game so much, why am I still playing? And to that I say it's because there are still a lot of good things about this game that often do not get discussed. So for this particular video, I wanted to talk about all of the good things that Niantic did for Pokémon GO that I do think deserves a lot of credit. Right, so with that said, let's get right into it. Alright, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokémon GO video. Okay, so today is going to be a little bit different compared to some of the content that I've been making lately. I'm going to be talking about a lot of the positives of Pokémon GO as of late that I do not think often get discussed. Now, when it comes to Pokémon GO, this is a very successful game. But this year, there was a lot of things that Niantic did that a lot of players did not agree with. And because of that, there has been a significant drop in revenue as well as the player base. And I really do think that Niantic needs to focus in on some of the positive things that I'm going to be talking about. So let's first talk about the game itself. I think Pokémon GO by design is going to be inherently a lot of fun. The whole concept of finding a bunch of creatures and collecting them is always going to be something that's going to appeal to a much wider audience compared to most other games. The casual factor of Pokémon GO is one of its core strengths. The fact that you could just jump into this game and find something fun out of it is something that Niantic should hang their hat on. There's always some reason for you to continue playing Pokémon GO. I know a lot of players out there who are just very casual about it and they just want to complete their Pokédex, and even them are going to find that the game is somewhat endless. There's always new Pokemon that you will want to catch, and once you figure out how valuable IVs are, you start looking for those as well. The collection aspect of Pokémon GO is really what's exciting about the game, and I really do hope that in the year 2024 and beyond, Niantic continues to develop this aspect of this game. Now, another fun aspect of Pokémon GO is the sheer amount of endgame content like PvP and raiding, which I really do think is something that is in a very healthy state right now. When it comes to PvP, there are a lot of bugs and issues. Yes, I do agree with that. But when it comes to the gameplay itself, if you can get into PvP and have a wide enough collection where you can be competitive, it's actually a lot of fun. And it's basically a form of endgame content that is seemingly endless. Like, you could always find yourself pushing further and further in the Go Battle League, and you can collect a lot of really good rewards along the way. This is one of the best ways to get Stardust, for example, and now it is actually a really good source for both Rare Candies and Rare Candy XL. And then we gotta talk about raiding. I think this is one area of Pokémon GO that a lot of people in the Pokémon GO community has been asking for a lot of positive changes, and Niantic actually did just that this year. They added a bunch of mechanics that makes raiding a little bit more dynamic, like for example, shadow raids, where you will actually need to subdue the Pokemon using certain items. I think there's a lot of cool things that Niantic tried out that actually was successful, and I really do hope they continue to iterate on raid battles because there's a lot of good things that they could do. One of the other things that they did was introduce party play for raids. I actually think this is the one aspect of party play that people actually care about. The fact that you could duo or trio raids that you could not do before now with party play, that is a pretty big deal because I think a lot of players were complaining about accessibility, and Niantic actually added elements that allows you to complete more raids. So yeah, PvP and raiding, in my opinion, are in a really good state. But of course, there's still a lot more work that needs to be done. But at least Niantic is heading in the right direction when it comes to these two aspects of Pokémon GO, and I really do think they deserve a lot of credit for that. But moving along, let's talk about some of the other aspects of Pokémon GO that I feel like Niantic deserves credit for, but they have not been getting it this year. Like for example, we finally got a ready button for raids, and I think this is something that a lot of players were really happy about. This is something that raid battles have needed for the longest time, and Niantic finally introduced it this year. I think Niantic deserves a lot of credit for that because raid battles now feel a lot more streamlined. Like when it comes to Wednesday raid hours, you can get a lot more raids done thanks to this ready button. And rumor has it, Niantic is adding even more quality of life improvements to Pokemon Go, and I think these are also going to be some very positive changes. For example, it has been rumored that there's going to be a mass revive and mass potion feature, which I think is going to make the game a lot more convenient. Now, one more thing that I want to give Niantic credit for when it comes to Pokemon Go is something that I recently touched on a recent video. I actually think the slate of community days that we had this year was actually really strong. I really want to see them go into a lot of unique and interesting picks for community days in the year 2024, and it seems like we're already getting that. Considering that we're getting Chansey Community Day in February, it already feels like they're stepping outside of the box and trying out a lot of different things. And in my opinion, that is a huge positive for Pokemon Go. As long as they're keeping the game interesting, they're going to get a lot more players involved. And you know what? I'll throw in one more bonus positive for this video. I think Pokestop Showcases is one of the best things that has come to Pokemon Go in a long time. Among all the plethora of different features that they implemented this year, Pokestop Showcases definitely stands out. It's incredibly simple, it's something that we see very often, and it's another way for you to collect a lot of really good rewards. That's something that I feel Niantic needs to do more. Add a lot of simple new mechanics that are extremely rewarding that emphasizes the collection aspect of Pokemon Go. All of those XXL Pokemon that you've been collecting along the way, they're actually extremely valuable because they could win you a bunch of Pokestop Showcases. That is incredible, and I really wish Niantic did more stuff like that. So yeah, in spite of all of the negative things that we constantly talk about when it comes to Pokemon Go, we do have to take a step back and talk about some of the positives. Niantic actually did a lot of really good things this year, in spite of all of the negative things that they did. And I do think that if we want Niantic to continue to make those sort of improvements, we need to give them some positive reinforcement. These are some of the things that we want more of when it comes to Pokemon Go, and I really do hope that if Niantic is paying attention, they're going to continue to make those kinds of decisions rather than some of the bad ones. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to share my thoughts regarding this particular topic because, yeah, I admit, I've been extremely negative towards Pokemon Go on my channel as of late. A lot of the decisions that they made this year, I just simply do not agree with. And I totally understand their different reasonings for those decisions, but I still feel like they were a detriment to Pokemon Go. But some of these positives, I think they were a great benefit to Pokemon Go. And I really do hope they go in those directions instead of the directions that they chose to go. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Was there something in particular that you really enjoyed about Pokemon Go this year that I did not mention? I would love to know what that is, so make sure you mention it in the comments below, and let's have a great discussion. And as always, thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. If you found it to be enjoyable, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and also don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Don't forget that little bell as well. And of course, I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, make sure you go and check out the links in the description below. For every single one of my Patreon members, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way within Pokemon Go, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'm only opening up my friends list to Patreon supporters. So if you want to be someone who plays Pokemon Go with Count Jinsula, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. Also, if you want to support my channel in a big way without spending any money, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @CountJinsula, and I'm on these following platforms right here. Alright, and that's going to be it. I'm Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch y'all later.